Media Network and the John Fredericks radio apps. Great to have you with us today. Sorry for the little bit of a delay. Now we got the camera freezing. So it's just gonna be one of those days again here in Washington, D.C. We'll try to fix it, Tyler, when we get to the break. Unbelievable. Come in and nothing works. This is one of those days. It seems like it's every Tuesday, right? This is like a Tuesday thing going on. So now we got a camera delay, we got a sound delay, and we got to reboot everything when I get to the break. But listen, thanks for your patience and thanks for being with us. They just can't help themselves. The unhinged left can't stop what's coming tonight. They can't help themselves. Before President Trump even steps to the podium for tonight's State of the Union, which we're going to certainly be following and watching, the corporate media establishment has already written their hit pieces, preloaded chyrons, and handed out the talking points. The coverage has been nothing short of unhinged. In fact, Teller and I have a clip service called Grabian. And, we go there every day, and that's where, we subscribe to the service, we pull our clips. And there's normally about 50 a day on there from throughout the prior day. Tyler, I know, Carl, my video is choppy. I get it. Thank you. There were about 55 clips, right? I could only pull 3 of them that were not negative Trump. It was like 48-3. Just one after the other, after the other, after the other. And a coordinated panic attack from the media class that still hasn't accepted that the American people have fired them. They fired the Democrats. They fired the media. I mean, they just can't get this. Now, here's what they don't want you to see. Employment is up, wages are up, gas prices are down, inflation is cooling, and massive tax rebates are on the way for working people, the forgotten men and women this president actually works for. I mean, it's unbelievable. And all you're going to get now, the negativity of the fake news. I've been saying this for weeks, but now it has hit. It gets worse every day. The fever pitch. You go to Politico, Washington Post, New York Times, CNN, no matter where you go, every single story is negative on Trump. The barrage, the pasting, the relentless, all doing the same thing at the same time, is why his approval ratings are in the tank, regardless of what's going on. Now we're talking. Look, here's the thing. What I want to hear tonight, other than the left-wing, biased fake news media telling me about chaos in the economy, right? Chaos. There's no chaos, folks. There's no chaos. Every single indicator is pointing in the right direction. Every single one of them, bar none. There is no chaos. So I'm not even sure what these people are talking about, chaos. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars that have flowed into the U.S. Treasury from foreign goods, money extracted from countries that spent decades picking our pockets. Decades. So why should Wall Street get to sit back and collect while the truck driver in Manassas, Virginia, or the waitress in Baltimore are still scraping to pay their rent? Like, tell me this makes sense. Send the money back. Here's what I want tonight. I want the president to say, I'm going to give this money, a direct tariff rebate, to working Americans. And then Wall Street, you can sue them for the money. Do it. Let's finally break this down to what it is. We have a 2-class system. We have elites in this country. We have the Wall Street gangster banksters. All of that is what we have. All of it. Going against working people in this country. They back illegals so they can get cheap labor and keep the Democrats in power so they can get more illegals and more cheap labor. That's why they give them their money. This is all a ruse to destroy the middle class for the elites in this country, in lower Manhattan, at our expense. And it's been going on for 50 years. And it's unbelievable. I am for a direct tariff rebate. You take all the money that came in, every dime of it, that they're saying you owe, and you cut a check to the American worker. Under $120,000, you divide it up. Hey, it earned income tax credit? No. You paid taxes in, you're getting a check. I don't care if you paid in $1. Paid something. Under $120,000, boom, you divide it up. $2,000 apiece. Mail them out. Then tell Wall Street to sue them. You know, I'm so sick of this whole thing. And what you're going to see tonight is what I believe is going to be an unbelievable speech about the greatness of this country, how great things are going, the one big beautiful bill, the fact that we've cut taxes on working people. That's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear the American Renaissance right in front of your eyes. You're going to hear how crime is down all over every city that is Republican. It's down. I hope he talks about my city, Washington, D.C., where I live, and I fell in love with this city. It's now my adopted city. People ask me, where are you from? Washington, D.C. I love this city because of what President Trump has done here in a year. I hope he talks about there's no crime. There's no crime here. It doesn't exist. It's like you're walking into a movie set. It's the most unbelievable metamorphosis in history. This can be done in every city, but the Democrats don't want it. They want the chaos. They've closed the government. They've closed DHS. And they're going to sit there on their hands and they're going to jeer. They hate America. Because if America is good and America is prosperous and people are doing well, they can't win an election. They have no answers for anything. Their affordability mantra is a complete joke. Look what they've done in Virginia. All they've done was jacked up taxes. That's all they've done. Everything is jacked up. There's no affordability. To them, affordability is giving free stuff away to people that don't work. That's their affordability plan. You got Gallegos yesterday in Arizona calling deportation centers internment centers. No, these are for people that broke the law to come to the country illegally, who are depressing wages and taking your jobs that shouldn't be here. It is very simple. President Trump can sell this tonight to the American people. What we've got to do, folks, we have to break through. I've never seen the left wing media, the fake news on steroids. When I go through 50, tell her how many clips were in Great Gradient today. Count them. That's 660? I could find 3 clips which I just played. That's all I got. Everything else is negative Trump. Every single one. And this is a clip service that, should be 50-50. They can't find anything. They're not doing this. Gradient's not doing this on purpose. They don't have anything. Because every single thing is negative. Every one, down the line. And I tell you, folks, we are going to fix this. We are not going to go through these midterms losers, okay? Republicans have got to grow a spine. Why they don't get rid of the filibuster, I will never in the life of me understand. But we gotta buckle up here. We gotta fight. And if we fight, we can win. Do you know that our tax bill this year in our company is a fraction of what it was in 2025. Our 2025 taxes are less than half of what they were in 24, and the income's the same. Why? One big beautiful bill. Buy properties, buy things, you can take the full deduction. That's why we bought all this equipment, and we're cash poor, because we bought it all, which created jobs and opportunity right down the line from manufacturing to shipping to install to my engineers, a whole bit. They all made money, and then we got to deduct it all in a year, which is the purpose of it. I mean, this is not a massive, this is a small family company. I mean, if we've accrued this savings with our investment into aging equipment that we needed to do, and we borrowed the money to do it, and now you get a full deduction, times this by millions and millions of small businesses around the country. And then the jobs that it creates, and the opportunity that it creates. And again, we were at happy hour last night. My waiter at Bobby Vans is going like, man, I just filed my taxes. I'm getting back $5,500. He said, I've never seen $5,500 in a check. You times that by millions and millions of waitresses and construction workers and people that work on tips and Uber drivers and Lyft drivers and cab drivers, all of them. I took a cab to get a signature signed yesterday, and my cabbie was like, yeah, man, love Trump, dude. Why is that? Half my income is tips in this cab. Half of it is tips. It's all coming back. I mean, what he has done has been amazing. And yet the libtards and the Democrats and the leftists, they hate America. I just don't get it. Why do you hate? Do you hate yourself? This is the greatest country on earth going into a time of unprecedented prosperity. It's coming if it's not here now. We're going to get another 5% growth in the first quarter, according to the Fed at Atlanta, which is the only accurate one that's out there. 5% growth. Think about that. This was a dream. Nobody ever dreamed we could get 5% growth. Nobody, that was you'd have to cook the books to do that. We're getting GDP growth like crazy. People are investing in this economy, and we're getting all kinds of investment. And this AI thing, look, I use AI. I use it every day. AI makes us better. AI presents opportunities. This idea that it's taken all the jobs away, it's nonsense. Embrace it. I mean, I remember when the internet first came out, www. Worldwide Internet. I remember the publisher at the Los Angeles Times that came from a packaged food company. It's a big deal when they hired him because, us in the newspaper business, we were a little elitist, even though we didn't make any money. Always wrote packaged goods guy. I can't remember the guy's name. Nice enough guy, LA Times publisher. Somebody can look it up. And I remember going around the country telling everybody in my company in McClatchy that these classified ads were going away. Like that was your bread and butter. These are going away. You got to plan for this. And very few people took me seriously in my company, McClatchy. Great company, by the way. And this guy at the LA Times said, oh, the internet's a fad. It's a fad. Really? Now all your papers have dried up. You make no money because it was all on classified ads. When I worked for Bilo at the, Dallas Morning News, and Bilo was on top of it. Bilo was one of the companies that saw it. They saw broadband was coming. This is way back in the day. They owned the Dallas Morning News. They saw broadband was coming. And so they invested in it heavily and did the right thing. But I'll never forget, I walk into the Dallas Morning News. I'm in a senior executive position. And the first thing that publisher told me to do is, hey, you got to go fix the classified thing. It's a mess. So, of course, when I do that, I go in there and I get on the headphones. Like, I got to see what's going on. So I got to be like a worker. So good management. So I put it, the problem, and you know what their problem was? Right? Dropped calls. On a Friday, people trying to buy ads and they couldn't get through. Dropped calls was the problem. Like they were losing like $1 million a week of dropped calls because they didn't have enough people to get to them and they didn't manage it properly. So we installed a whole, I spent money on got them to buy, I didn't spend the company, this huge scoreboard that showed every call, how many minutes they were on hold. We added people, we added supervisors that would take the overflow, and we got it down and we got all the money in. But that was the biggest problem was people were on hold too long to buy an ad. This was the newspaper business in the 90s. Now you can't, that don't exist. You got to embrace change, baby. You got to embrace technology. And these leftists, like I'm on a plane coming back. I mean, where was I coming back from? Atlanta to D.C., right? Lafayette to Atlanta, D.C. And to have to fly standby, came back early, long story. I'm in the middle seat, back in coach, and person on the aisle. It just happens to me. I think I draw them. I think Delta puts me there on purpose. So, of course, the lady on the aisle, total Northern Virginia libtard, double masker, sits down, 2 masks, huge mask. I mean, huge. And then one under that, just in case. I'm like, here we go. Then she puts down her tray and she takes out some kind of a soapy spray thing. I guess those little hand things you get. She sprays it and she's wiping it down. I'm looking at myself saying, are you going to eat that or just like put a cup of coffee on it? And then I'm sitting there, I don't say a word. I'm on my phone just, trying to write my column, which, hopefully you got today or yesterday. So then she pulls out a candy bar. Now, I'm not making this a huge candy bar. No, it's a huge thing, chocolate candy bar. Unwraps it, and it's pretty, the whole thing's gross. And so she's got to chomp this candy bar down, and she has to take down her masks. So I'm like, okay, so you take your masks down to eat the candy bar, drink your coffee, and then when it's all done, you put your mask back up. Like what is the point of this? Like, you are truly retarded. This is why I call you a libtard. Like, what is the purpose of this mask? Are you virtue signaling? I mean, I guess you're defying RFK Jr. by being a little chunky monkey there and eating a big old candy bar in the middle of the flight. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? They just hate America, Now, I'm in the Crown Room waiting in between Lafayette and Atlanta, and we got the hockey game on, and the hockey game's on TV, and we score that goal in overtime, and the entire Crown Room gets up and cheers. The entire Crown Room. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, why was that? Well, people in the Crown Room probably have a job. People in the Crown Room probably are not super left-wing liberal, I guess. But they cheered. I mean, it was high-fiving. People that didn't even know each other. It's like you're not at the game, you're at the Crown Room. So there's pride in our country. Why I'm telling you this story is, it gets overshadowed by this minority of left-wing TDS, Trump derangement syndrome haters that crave power. And the speech that you're going to see tonight, I know that this president is going to not hold back anything in exemplifying the pride and the progress in this country and the things that we believe in and how great things are and how the great things are going to be. And as for that, that's why I can't wait for tonight. And, I don't know what he's going to do with the tariffs. I tell you what I would do. I would just defy everybody. Because look, here's what happened. SCOTUS, on a technicality, shut his window. And he got up there in 45 minutes at the press briefing room and kicked in the door. And now you take this money, and SCOTUS gave him no guidance on this money. And Wall Street, the ones that, remember who filed the suit? It was not China. The suit was filed by the gangster banksters in Lower Manhattan. They filed the suit to get rid of tariffs so they can keep shipping your jobs overseas and get cheap labor and get another yacht or another Rolls Royce or another house in the Caymans or whatever they do. They're the one that sued him. Now they say, well, we're going to sue the government to get the money back. Give the money back to the people and sue them. Go ahead, sue them all. Sue every single one of us. Do it. No, you won't do it because you don't have the balls. Right? You've been stealing our money for 60 years. You've been stealing us blind. other countries stealing us blind. We finally got a president who stands up for us. This whole movement is a populist movement about working people. This isn't about give away free child care. Okay, that's nonsense. You know, if we have the money for subsidies for child care for lower income people that have to have a job, I'm for that. But this isn't about giving away child care. This isn't about giving away health care or have a single payer system. This is about good paying jobs. People want money to buy the stuff they want to buy. And they want to have a fighting chance in this country if you're not on the elitist base. This is what this whole movement has been about from day one, and it's manifesting right in front of your eyes. That is why I'm so upbeat today. I mean, it is right here. And they're going to sit up, the Democrats are going to sit on their hands, and whatever Trump says, the fake news is going to blast it tomorrow in lockstep. Just like what they did in Virginia on these iGames. I mean, I know I'm all over the board here. I'm a little fired up. So, sorry. Bear with me. And then I'll take your calls and we'll all play nice. Whatever that means. Listen, it's crazy. iGames, right? It's a disaster for Virginia. It's addictive to kids, the elderly. It preys on the most vulnerable. Casinos on your phone. It's nuts. But somebody is paying big bucks for this. Huge donations going in to key Democrats. I'm talking big money. Goes to the House, gets to the floor. It goes down 49-46. Democrats vote against it because the bill sucks. Mamie Locke, who's one of the leaders in the Senate, it's her bill, goes nuts, calls the leadership. They caucus for 2 hours. I don't know what they said in there, shut and lock the door. They go back out. The guy that had the bill, Marcus Simon, voted against it because it was going down, puts it up again. It passes, and they changed 20 Democrat votes. Not one no vote. 20 voted no, then 20 vote yes. You think Republicans would ever do that? They threatened him, they strong-armed him. They said, if you don't vote for this, we're going to kill all your stupid bills. You're done. So what do? Every Democrat goes back in there, votes against their conscience, and votes yes. And a bunch of Republicans did as well, because they're equally as bad. So it passes. And now it's going to conference. You think Republicans would ever do that? It's just a bad bill. So even the Democrats have voted against their own constituents and conscience. I mean, the Democrats that are representing African Americans in lower class communities voted for something that is truly addictive that will prey on their constituents and their children. They don't care. Democrats said, do this, we're doing it. This is what we're fighting. These people play for keeps. They come to a fight with a bazooka. We come with, we don't want to give up 60-vote cloture because we're a traditionalist. As everything is sitting on the table right there. I played you the clip earlier. You can't shovel snow without 2 IDs and a Social Security card, but you can vote if you're basically a squirrel with an acorn. Unbelievable. So I'm telling you folks, long narrative today. I'm pumped for this speech tonight. And I want you to lace them up and lace them tight, because today's going to be a barn burner. Of all the speeches he's ever made, today is going to be something else. Tonight, 9 p.m. And I couldn't watch it with better folks. Now, the DC GOP has an event. Nah. Love you guys. Nah. I'm going to the Log Cabin Republicans event. You know why I'm going there? Because these log cabin kids who are gay, the last event I was at, everybody under 30. And they're fired up. And now they're on the inside looking out. They're not on the outside looking in. They're pumped. And they're enthusiastic. And they represent one of the biggest changes we've ever had in America. These are gay MAGA people, and they're very young, and they're very spirited. And that's where I'm going to watch the State of the Union with my wife, Ann, and anybody else that would like to go to that, I'll get you an invite. Just Text me, 878, if you're in D.C., 878-256-9062. You can text me at any time. So I'm fired up tonight for this speech. But I know it's going to get blasted. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. All right, we're going to go to a quick break. I'm going to try to find out why my camera is glitchy. We've had all kinds of issues, but we're going to fix this right now. We will be right back. You, my friends, are on the John Fredericks Media Network. Stay with us.